Lately, the PGA Tour just can't seem to catch a break. One by one, each of the tour's ugly are slowly leaking out. Bubba Watson spilled the tea most recently after he lifted the lid on one of the PGA's ugliest secrets, one in which most of the tour is complicit. Keep watching to find out, starting with the PGA Tour's exposed. Bubba Watson, a two-time winner of the Masters, has revealed a supposedly forbidden rule on the PGA Tour. That is, accepting appearance money is a highly unethical thing to do, but many still do it. He was responding to allegations that the tournaments on the Saudi-funded tour don't have cuts, guaranteeing every player a check after reportedly receiving roughly $70 million to sign with Greg Norman's LIV Golf earlier this year. Watson told ESPN that it made him laugh because he got paid on the PGA Tour to show up at events and many tournaments, and this was all done in under-the-table deals. If Bubba Watson isn't best, it follows that players better than him are paid more and have benefits that we can't even begin to imagine. Money is always guaranteed in one way or the other. Even when they're not chosen, they still get compensated, and even if they succeed, they get paid more. Next up, the harsh truth behind the industry secret. Appearance fees are strictly prohibited on the PGA Tour, but this isn't the case with international golf. Sponsors still count on players they fund to show up at their events. For instance, Tiger Woods won the Buick Invitational 6 times, and the Buick Open 3 times, both of which he was likely required by contract to appear in. So, in long-term contracts like with Buick, it's not hard to take appearance fees in one way or the other. Watson laughed at the hypocrisy when players criticized him for being open about himself and said, "We all had some guaranteed money to turn up at matches. Whether the players succeed, fail, or just give up, they will still get paid. These fixed payouts aren't new, as the tour has been doing this since it was probably founded." Watson found it amusing that people were criticizing him because he didn't hide what everyone was doing. Although others prefer not to discuss it while on the tour, they are all complicit in the act. He said that he was bewildered after LIV golf players began to be criticized for taking money in their new circuit. More on Tiger Woods and other players aim criticism at Watson. Players have come under fire for signing guaranteed multi-year contracts with LIV Golf, backed by Saudi Arabia's public investment fund. Tiger Woods and other PGA Tour athletes began to heavily criticize the people involved and question their integrity to the sport. Dustin Johnson, a former world champion golfer, reportedly received more than $125 million to join LIV and earned an additional $35 million in prize money and bonuses during its first season. Tiger Woods believes that this is ruining the sport, as there is no reason left to practice when these players are doing it for guaranteed money. Indeed, some of the motivation behind players putting in their maximum effort would be gone, as they'd simply play to finish, possibly, as they could. Simply put, they're playing in a few events and getting 54 holes while receiving a sizable upfront payment. Watson conveniently left out just how much money he illegally gathered over his 12-year PGA Tour career. Since he won at the Masters events in 2012 and 2014, it's probably quite a huge sum of money. Moving on to PGA Tour response to the allegations. The PGA Tour defended the practice in a public statement to the press. The tour knows that some event sponsors may enter into a contract with the player to conduct a sponsor-related activity during tournament week, for which they give a small amount of money. Emphasis on the supposed small amount. According to their rules, that is completely acceptable. Kevin Kistner, a member of the PGA Tour Player Advisory Board, said that the prize money awarded to competitors in PGA Tour events differs from one given out by LIV Golf. It's more of a partnership between the player, their title sponsor, and the host organization than a formal appearance fee. They're attempting to put more money in players' hands through contracted appearances for tent visits apart from the regular PGA Tour, a tool of the trade which has been going on for ages. I can't say that we're very surprised. The PGA Tour has nothing to say to them if they want to pay Bubba Watson to visit a tent. Up next, Greg Norman's take on the ugly secret. Greg Norman, the CEO of LIV Golf and its strongest supporter, claimed that he was prohibited from accepting appearance fees while competing on the PGA Tour, but he said he had been away from the tour for so long that he couldn't answer honestly about the current practices. He seemed aware of the rumors and opinions circulating LIV and responded by saying that if Bubba Watson had claimed it was happening, it must be happening. When Norman was a young golfer growing up in the league, players couldn't get paid for making appearances or even reimbursements for hotels and travel. They played and spent their own money on whatever they needed. Now, things are very different. In other news, Bubba Watson and Bryson DeChambeau are missing half their rewards. The two LIV players are missing half of their rewards from the Player Impact Program, which uses a system to give money to the tour's most well-liked players. In 2021, Bubba Watson and Bryson DeChambeau were two of the PGA Tour's most well-liked athletes, and that popularity led to an interest in the PGA Tour, which led to a paycheck for both players due to that interest. DeChambeau placed 5th and received $3.5 million under the First Player Impact Program, while Watson placed 10th and was awarded $3 million. The PGA Tour confirmed that neither player met the qualifications to receive the full sum, so each received only only half of the assigned money. The 5 factors used to rank the list participants gave DeChambeau and Watson their spots in the top 10. The first payment is sent to the players after participating in a sponsor function, such as a dinner with sponsors, a round of golf, or a Q&A at a sponsored event, to mention a few. Playing in a PGA Tour event is the other half of the requirement. Both DeChambeau and Watson completed the event element of the criteria and received half the money owed, but neither player had yet to finish the sponsor event portion of the requirement. Moving on to DeChambeau's problem with the league. DeChambeau was supposed to speak at the first tee event in Texas, but the tour has refused to recognize his attendance, claiming it would be inappropriate for him to promote the tour's virtues after leaving for LIV Golf under the circumstances the tour believes to be questionable. DeChambeau said this wasn't about the money, but rather a matter of principle. He defended his remarks and said that he would be open to donating the remaining funds to a cause of his choosing, most likely youth golf. The player had booked something for November without realizing this would happen. It happened, and he was left unable to receive his money. Even though he's fine with it, he said he wished the PGA Tour could use that money to accomplish something worthwhile. He had promised to donate that money to junior golf, but now he couldn't, and he even asked the league to donate the rest of it on his behalf. Finally, what's Watson's issue? The Bubba Watson situation is slightly different. The player had committed to playing in a sponsored tournament at TPC Sawgrass, but the PGA Tour canceled his appearance, saying that he was not required and that they would schedule another event in his place. Regarding the comments under the PIP program, Watson said that he had never canceled anything in his life and was ready to get on his plane when they abandoned him, and this happened several times. And he finally withdrew from his commitments under the PIP program. Watson's decision to withdraw from the event when he was ready doesn't seem to be a valid issue, one over which the tour should be allowed to not give him his $1.5 million. Watson and DeChambeau are both still open to participating in an event, but claim the tour is not interested, even though neither player is eagerly pursuing the matter any further. It's something to note that DeChambeau is still fighting the LIV antitrust case against LIV. Watson, however, responded with sarcasm and said that it's a lot of money and the tour probably needed it more than he did. Truly a classy way to handle such a petty situation. And of course, the tour hasn't responded yet. And that's a wrap for this video. Thanks for watching. What did you think of the PGA Tour secret, and do you think all the players are secretly complicit in it? Let us know in the comments below, and make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos just like this. We'll see you in the next one.